Reality feels reliable because it behaves consistently at the scale of human life. Objects appear where we expect them. Causes seem to lead to predictable effects. Time moves forward without interruption. From this regularity, the mind constructs a quiet certainty. The universe exists independently, fully formed, waiting to be observed. This assumption is rarely questioned, not because it is proven, but because it is comfortable. Physics once shared this confidence. Classical models described a universe made of objects with well-defined properties, moving through space and time like pieces on a board. If the position and velocity of every object were known, the future could, in principle, be calculated. Reality was assumed to be complete, objective, and indifferent to observation. Knowledge was simply a matter of uncovering what was already there. Quantum physics did not gently refine this picture. It broke Italiano. When experiments began probing matter at fundamental scales, the expected solidity was nowhere to be found. Particles did not behave like objects. They did not have precise positions. They did not follow continuous paths. Instead, they behaved like distributions of possibility, existing as ranges of outcomes rather than fixed entities. An electron, for example, does not exist at a single point in space prior to measurement. It exists as a probability wave, spread across multiple possibilities. This wave is not a lack of information about a hidden position. It is the complete description of the system. Before interaction, there is no definite location to uncover. Reality itself is undefined in that respect. Measurement does not simply reveal what was already real. It plays a role in making one possibility act. Until interaction occurs, outcomes remain open. This is not philosophical speculation. It is the unavoidable conclusion drawn from repeated experiments. The universe, at its foundation, does not behave as a finished structure. This forces a difficult realization. If properties do not exist before measurement, then reality is not fully independent of interaction. The observer is not standing outside the universe, passively recording it. Observation is part of the physical process by which reality takes shape. The boundary between knower and known becomes blurred. This does not mean consciousness creates the universe. It means the universe is relational. What exists depends on how systems interact. Reality is not a static object, but a network of events. What we call facts are stabilized outcomes of interaction, not eternal features waiting to be discovered. The mind resists this idea because it threatens certainty, identity, memory, and control. All rely on the belief that the world is fixed beneath our feet. If reality itself is unfinished until interaction, then certainty becomes provisional. Knowledge becomes contextual. Truth becomes conditional. Uncertainty, however, is not disorder. Quantum systems are not chaotic in the everyday sense. They are governed by precise mathematical structures. What disappears is not order, but determinism. The universe follows rules, but those rules do not specify a single outcome. They specify a range of possibilities. This means the future is not written in advance. It is constrained, but open. Events do not unfold like pages in a book, already printed. They unfold like choices emerging from conditions. Reality is less like a script and more like a conversation between systems. Time itself begins to lose its familiar authority here. At quantum scales, the idea of a universal, flowing time becomes unstable. Some equations work just as well forward as backward. Others suggest time may emerge from deeper relationships rather than existing as a fundamental backdrop. What we experience as linear time may be a useful approximation, not an absolute feature of existence. This echoes an insight available through direct experience. The past exists only as memory occurring now. The future exists only as imagination occurring now. Experience itself never leaves the present moment. Time, as lived, is not a river we move through. It is a pattern appearing within awareness. Identity shows a similar structure. The self feels continuous because memory stitches moments together. But when examined closely, identity behaves like a process rather than an entity. Thoughts arise, sensations arise, emotions arise. Each appears and disappears. There is no fixed core holding them together. What remains constant is awareness itself. Awareness does not appear and vanish with experience. It does not age with the body. It does not fluctuate with thought. It is present before any particular experience and remains after it fades. This is not belief. It is observation. The parallel is striking. In physics, particles arise from underlying fields. Inexperienced thoughts arise within awareness. Forms appear. Forms dissolve. The field remains. What is fundamental is not the form, but the condition that allows form to appear. This does not reduce reality to illusion. It deepens it. When sati falls away, attention becomes sharper. Experience becomes less filtered by assumption. Reality is no longer something to dominate or explain away. It becomes something to meet directly. Quantum physics does not offer comfort. It offers humility. It shows that reality does not conform to human intuition. Inner observation offers the same lesson. Awareness cannot be captured by thought. The deepest aspects of existence resist ownership. What survives the collapse of certainty is not confusion, but stillness. Not the stillness of inactivity, but the stillness of what does not need to move to be present. Beneath explanation, beneath identity, beneath the need to know, there is something quietly stable. This stability does not belong to any object. It does not belong to any self. It is the background against which change is visible. The universe moves. Experience changes. Awareness remains. The most unsettling implication of quantum physics is not that reality is strange. It is that our demand for certainty was misplaced. The most liberating implication of inner observation is not that answers are found, but that they are no longer required. Reality does not need to be fully understood to be real. Awareness does not need to be defined to be present. When the need for explanation softens, something more intimate becomes visible. Not an answer, not a conclusion, but direct experience. Still within.